change.
Yeah.
John Kerry in 2016.
Let's do it, guys.
Come on.
I call it Gold Lake. Fuck you. All right.
Here's the deal.
There is a supermarket chain in Los Angeles called Vons.
V-O-N-S.
Middle of the road, good produce, right?
We appreciate it.
There's a supermarket chain here called Jons.
J-O-N-S.
Way lower rent.
It's a horrible place.
It's terrible, right?
Where you go to die.
That's right. Now, I've never seen a commercial for Jons.
And you never will.
Because they don't spend any money on marketing.
No.
They spend all their money on trying to figure out a way to make the J look like a V.
There's a whole lot of angles in that.
There's a triangle in the middle there. They want people to be driving along and do this. Honey, we need some milk. I'm just going to turn our British car.
Yeah, head on over into that.
Turn into that Vons. I looked once. There's no need to look a second.
Why would a store try and trick us?
It's weird that we've been having this discussion
This
right
is
now.
the weirdest conversation I've ever had with you.
And bizarre. And that, that's fine. You get into the parking lot. And then once you step inside with John, you're like, how the fuck did I get inside the Grand Bazaar in Istanbul?
I have no idea. What the fuck? What?
Was that a bat?
I don't know. I saw wings and tees. Jesus. I don't know. Should employees in the supermarket be wearing shoes?
Yeah.
I feel like if you work here, you should be in bare
Hey,
feet.
when did Mr. T develop a line of salad dressing?
I have no idea. But I'm going to try his 700 Island.
Yes.
That looks delicious.
99% pimento.
Which is why I love it so much.
Should meet me on the floor.
Not out of the
Not out of the
package like that, just laying there.
This is the weirdest Vons I've ever very weird. Speaking of Mr. T, we recently saw T. Weird career trajectory for T.
Kind of sad for
Kinda
Mr.
sad,
T, right? I mean, I wonder if at this point in his life, based on his career, his pity for fools has transitioned more into empathy. I feel like it's just really now.
Doesn't sound so I empathize with the fool. I am a fool myself.
I'm thinking about growing into size. Just becoming someone's grandpa.
Grandpa Tittins.
So we're sports fans, and the whole Lance Armstrong's trajectory has been amazing.
It is really one of those things. All right, so he won 7 Tour de France's. He dated
Sheryl Crow.
Then moved on, dumped her, and moved on to an Olsen twin.
That's like a winning streak when you think about that.
Then he tests positive for doping, and they strip him of all of his titles.
Oh, by the way, he beat cancer somewhere in the middle
Yeah,
of
he
that.
beat cancer somewhere in the middle. So they strip him of all his titles.
And now, I mean, when they started to strip him of all his titles, they went after everything. They're like, now you have to use like 1 square of toilet paper because Cheryl said
You
so.
gotta do that. They fucking gave him back to cancer.
They did do that. They did do that. I read about that.
Not a nice thing to do. But Lance Armstrong recently, you kind of felt bad for the guy until he tweeted recently a picture, a twit pic of him just lounging in Austin, Texas, where he lives. It was a picture of him in his rec room with 7 Tour de France yellow jerseys.
Visible in the photo
And
behind
he's just
him.
laying on the couch like a douchebag. And this is what he said. This was the caption of it. He's like, back in Austin, just hanging out.
Just hanging out? Are you serious? I saw that. I was like, the ball on this guy. I went so far for that
For that
horrible
one
joke.
joke, we went all the way around the cul-de-sac.
Yes. And we took you with us.
Yeah.
We fucking took you with us.
I so badly want to do this. I want to, literally, I don't know, this is like basically the comedy equivalent of
Digging a hole and burying yourself inside.
yeah, or date raping a hipster community, right here. Do you guys know who Stephen A. Smith is on ESPN? Okay. Stephen A. Smith, for those of you who don't, I want to see if people who don't would understand this. But Stephen A. Smith is a very bombastic sort of pundit on ESPN. He's an African-American gentleman who loves to talk about how he knows every NBA player and the way he sort of knows these. So I'm digging the hole.
You're
Jay.
digging the
Yeah,
hole.
yeah.
I'm letting you do it.
That's right.
I'm
So-
giving you the shovel. Go for it.
And so he likes to talk about how first of all he thinks that the Lakers suck, and he likes to talk about how
He try every time he tells a story, he runs out of breath, and then he still has 9 words left to say, and he still goes for
still
it.
goes through it.
And then he has to let you know how close he is on a personal level with every athlete and the technology he used to contact them the night before.
Yeah, it starts out saying, last night I was talking to Kobe Bryant, and I talked to Kobe Bryant. I said, Kobe, what are we talking about here?
And then all of a sudden I got Pau Gasol and Marc Gasol in a go-to meeting, and I was like, what are we talking
I
about?
started to Skype with Steve Nash, and I'm like, look, the defense, what are we talking about?
Come on, man.
on, man. I threw smoke signals up to Cherokee Park. I was like, come on, man, what are we talking about? I took light from the sun, bounced it off a mirror, and then shot it over to Nate Tiny Archibald, and we were like, come on, man, what are we doing? Come on, man.
Steven, I don't fucking know what you're talking about.
I love that. I'm sorry, it just makes me happy.
Come on, man.
No, we are twins and sports fans. The two came together at an interesting intersection a few years ago. Coors Light did an ad campaign with the NFL.
And we're not going to blame Coors Light for this. We're not going to blame the NFL.
We're going to blame the white dude who was rapping in the commercial.
This dude's rap was so bad it was offensive to black people.
This dude's rap was so bad it was offensive to white people who talk black.
And that's a hard group of people to offend when you think about that. This guy's rap was so bad it was offensive to gift wrapping. Think about that.
This guy's rap was so bad it was offensive to smoothies.
Stay with him.
Because of their association with healthy wrap sandwiches.
Think about that for a second.
Terrible rap.
And here's why it was so bad. It was so bad because he wasn't like rapping, he was just listing things that he liked.
No metaphor whatsoever. He said, I like hanging with my friends, fun that never ends.
And then this is the worst part.
And twins!
Remember that? Then they cut to a shot of the fake blue blonde haired twins, the Coors Light twins, and the insinuation was that as sports fans, we all want to have a three-way with a set of twin girls. That's our fantasy.
It's everybody's sexual fantasy to have a fantasy that also involves incest.
They're sisters.
Yeah. No one ever talks about that half of the evening.
We're going to talk about it right now.
It's going to get real on this.
We're going to make it very real.
It's going to get Bakersfield real.
It is. I don't know what that means.
Anyway,
here's the deal. We want to bring that commercial back.
Keep everything the same except one image.
If we change one shot in that commercial, it'll make that commercial better for us.
So he says, I like hanging with my friends, fun that never ends when it gets you. And twins!
Instead of the fake blue blonde hair twins, we want to cut to a shot of those two Siamese girl twins connected at the head.
One of them's a country
The other one's like in a wheelbarrow. I think
that's her
what
shot, literally on a rolling glass. Just have the camera push into the fleshy part that's both of them.
But it's kind of neither of them either. Like, you could stab that with a knife and not go to jail.
That's right.
That's not a person.
It's international waters.
Guys! It's DMZ, guys. Come on.
Gotta watch out for Somalian pirates.
That's it. You gotta call Kofi Annan, then you get in there. You get a little pass.
I would do that commercial just to get red-blooded American male sports fans' reaction to that commercial.
I would
Because
too.
dudes would be watching that commercial, they'd be like, I like hanging with my
I
friends.
like fun that never ends.
I don't know how I feel about physical performance.
Yeah. It's inspiring.
It really is, yeah.
But that feels like fun that could end. A finite amount of things.
Do you guys think when Pat Morita, Mr. Miyagi died, somebody somewhere shouted out, "Get everybody down!"
No, that was a separate guy who yelled, "Yeah!" Like that, "Yeah!" is on someone's reel.
Exactly.
I just want you to know that. That's the centerpiece to his acting reel.
The beginning, the middle. Yeah! So I'll tell the story and then we'll get out of here. Jason and I recently met Richard Simmons.
Yes, Richard Simmons.
Yes. We met him on a flight. We were flying from New Orleans back to Los Angeles, and we were sitting in the lounge. We lucked out and got into the lounge.
And everyone in the lounge looked like either they had hosted or were guests on the Cafferty File on CNN. Old, white, and bald. That's how I would describe it.
Angry about manila folders.
So mad.
So we're just like working in there, and all of a sudden behind us we hear like a gay tornado.
Like a gay NATO just whips into the fucking lounge.
I know you.
I want to take a picture with you. I want to get some with you. A high five for you, sister.
Papers flying everywhere. It's just like he comes in, and we just, without turning around, I'm like, this is this flight attendant.
This is the sassy flight
He
attendant.
knows everyone in here.
Just let him do his
let
thing.
him do his thing, right? And then turn around, and of course, it's Richard Simmons.
Richard fucking Simmons.
And I'm like freaking out.
His hair is as wispy as fuck.
It's way up there, and I would say that his hair was fucking with the Wi-Fi.
It was. It totally was fucking with the Wi-Fi.
I had to log on and off 4 times.
I was like, I just had 4 bars. Why am I down to 1 bar?
Fucking Simmons in his hair, right? So So we get on the plane, and we are, now, when we normally fly for ourselves and we have to buy our tickets, we're like, what's the cheapest way we fly?
Can you, like, tranquilize us and put us under the plane with the rest of the dogs?
Like we're dogs.
Is that cheap? Can we do that?
No, and so...
Instead, when someone else flies us, we're like first class only.
So we flew in a very small first class, which was the craziest first class ever. In first class with us was Laura Dern and her mother, Diane Ladd, famous actress, Ben Harper's kids.
They are also Laura Dern's kids.
But he's got to fucking step up.
Shouldn't he step up? I mean, come on.
Burn that one down. Come on, bitch. Okay, so Richard Simmons is in the first class.
With his manager, and then me, Randy, and then this very attractive black woman, and
a 6-year-old kid and a guy who looked like Avon Barksdale.
But it was not Avon Barksdale, we found that out.
It was not Wood Harris. Now, Richard Simmons is, okay, I don't want to get hurt here, but he was up on the chair like this, just talking to
every single person who walked onto the
I
plane.
have kids, if my kids were up on, I gotta fly tomorrow morning, if my kids get up on the plane, I'm like, sit the fuck down.
Fuck off of that chair, person. Act your age.
Like a normal person. Simmons up on the thing and he's talking to everybody. Like people are walking through, he sees a black guy with dreads, he's like, I'll whip my hair back and forth. I'll whip my hair back and forth.
Why did he make this motion? Like you're a loser. I don't know, but he did that.
Changing the molecular structure of the plane, right? And then we start talking to him and he's like, wait, what's going on over here? Are you guys twins?
What is this?
What is happening
What
here?
is this?
What is happening
I need
here?
to get into this.
And so you fall into this thing of your comedian, you start to give Richard Simmons shit. So
It's like you totally instantly got the David Letterman dynamic.
So he's got his pillows on there on the plane, which the pillows that were in his crib when he was a child.
How do we know that? Because he fucking told the whole
us.
plane. These pillows were in my crib
I
as a
should
child.
not know that. So he's going, and all of a sudden he falls asleep.
He crashes like a wind-up toy that just ran out of juice. He just goes down.
And his pillows are like on my keyboard. I can't fucking type or anything. So
Meanwhile, while he's sleeping, Randy talks to the woman next to him, and
that's her husband, who's the Avon Barksdale looking guy. Not Avon Barksdale. No, that's the fucking RZA
from Wu-Tang Clan.
Craziest first class I've ever been in my entire life. I mean, just insane. So I started to talk to her. I was like, listen, have you ever heard of the Wu-Tang name generator?
Which is
She's
great.
like, no,
you guys know what that is.
You type your name into the name generator, and it tells you what your name would be if you
Childish Gambino, okay, was a result of some
I
of
just decided to type in Richard Simmons. It came out Intelligent Wizard.
Makes sense. Wispy hair, 48 frames per second. All right, fine. All right.
So she was like fascinated by this thing. So I was like, all right, let me just try something here. I'm just gonna type in the RZA.
What if you put the RZA
into the Wu-Tang name generator? I wonder what it would come up from there. Do you guys know what it came up with? Alan Dershowitz.
True story.
He's the weirdest person in the So Simmons gets up in the middle of the flight. He comes over and starts aggressively hugging like one of the flight attendants.
And then he sits down in front of Laura Dern and
kind of puts his feet under her chair. So he's like basically stowed himself under his chair right there.
And he starts getting her to talk about the Ben Harper breakup, and they are both
She's
suddenly crying.
He's crying. I come over just to meet Laura Dern, and he starts hitting on me ceaselessly. He's like, I want to kiss you on the mouth, and I want to take you to Italy.
Both things, I heard both those things. Come out of Richard Simmons' mouth.
And I was like, Richard, first of all, I'm married to a woman, and are we talking about Ravello? Because I could do the Amalfi Coast. Yeah, there's seven rooms. I could do that. So he then starts to pretend like he can't hear me, but I gotta get closer. He's like, becomes a southern belle. He's like, oh, I can't hear you. My ears.
But you gotta lean down
closer to me. And I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna go after me. And so like, I'm talking to Dern. I'm like, Dern, you gotta help me out here. You gotta help me in this thing. So Richard Simmons then grabs my hand and then starts sucking my thumb. Richard Simmons is sucking my thumb
like a goat at a petting zoo.
I could not believe it. But you understand, if I were to find a random person, a woman that I met on the flight, and just start sucking her thumb.
At that moment, you would know who the air marshals are.
Oh, yeah.
They'd walk up, be like, is everybody driving over here?
And then you'd see his
Are we good? Are we good here? We're good?
Now, the postscript to this is we landed the plane finally, craziest thing ever, and we're getting up to get our bags, and I just peek back into Coach. Guess who's sitting in Coach, like a few rows behind us? Kevin fucking Sorbo.
Hercules!
Hercules was not strong enough to get inside that first class. Thank you guys so much.